Hey guys, and welcome to Double K's This Week in Basketball. This past week in basketball, we saw pretty much no change on top of the Eastern and Western conferences. All three teams that were there last week are there this week, so it should make it pretty easy to go over that part of it. Top three teams in the East are the Cavs, sitting at 11-2, 8-1 at home, 3-1 on the road. The Atlanta Hawks sit behind them at 10-5. Or the Atlanta Hawks. They sit behind the Cavs by about a half game, or about 2 games, or about a game and a half. Sorry, at 10-5, 6-2 at home, 4-3 on the road. And behind them sits the Toronto Raptors, who sit at 9-6, tied with 2 other teams. I believe it was Celtics and one other team. 9-6 overall, 4-3 at home, 5-3 on the road. The Western Conference shapes up a little bit different, as the top 3 teams in the Western Conference all stand strong. But it is the Clippers, Warriors, and Spurs. Starting with the Clippers, who sit at 14-2, 7-2 at home, 7-0 on the road. Like I said before, being undefeated on the road is kind of huge. If they can keep that, I doubt they're going to finish the season undefeated, but hey, if they can keep that going, that builds to a strong positioning when it comes to home court advantage throughout the playoffs. Next up is the Warriors, who sit at 13-2. They're 8-1 at home, 5-1 at home, 8-1 on the road. 8 road wins, definitely a good sign from Golden State, because they may end up having to play on the road in order to get to the NBA Finals, but that's all wait to be seen type situation. Next up is the same as last week, the San Antonio Spurs, who sit at 12-3, 4-3 at home, 8-0 on the road. Once again, another undefeated team. It sits in the top 3. These teams are definitely good. The one that's changed for me in the past couple of weeks has been Oklahoma City, who's kind of fell out of graces. I believe they're like 8-6, 8-7 right now after starting the season 5 or 6-1. So that's a team to keep an eye on, but they're going to be a lot lower seed than they look to be to start this season. Moving on to the league leaders, we pretty much have the same roll call. Only difference is Russell Westbrook has taken over in the leader in points per game. With James Harden leading the league in assists per game at 12.4. And Hassan Whiteside, the center out of Miami, leading the league with 15, 16 rebounds a game. Beasting out that boy ever since he got his contract, and even before, a little bit before when he was earning it, came through big. 10, 12, 15 rebounds a game. 25 is not unheard of out of this kid. Chris Paul is leading the league with 2.9 steals per game. And then the brow, Anthony Davis, is still leading the league with 2.9 blocks per game. So, yeah, not much has changed over the past week as far as the league leaders. Some of the top stories go as such. The 76ers would prefer to keep it's Joel Embiid, or Nerlens Noel, and Jamil Okafor. They would prefer to keep Okafor over Noel. They both pretty much play the same position. Noel has had some problems with injuries, so I can see why they would want to do that. But with the question then becomes, where do they move Nerlens Noel to? There's a lot of team that needs an inside presence. The Warriors would be one of those, but who would the Warriors give up to get him? Because they're definitely not giving up a Klay Thompson or somebody like that. So would Philly accept a draft pick and say JaVale McGee or JaVale McGee or somebody like that for or Damian Jones, that center we drafted for Nerlens Noel? We don't know. We'd have to see. Next up is that word has it that Brandon Knight was on the trading block, but that those rumors have been shot down and denied by his team. I believe it's the Suns. Why would they want to move on from him? He's a great player. I believe he's averaging about 15 to 18 points a game, 4 to 7 assists, a couple of rebounds. So he's a great player to have either coming off your bench or starting for you. So I don't see any reason why they would want to get rid of him. And then Caspi is another one that was talked about being on the trading block for Sacramento, and I don't think he is. Him or DeMarcus Cousins, both of those guys could turn out to be beneficial to Sacramento. I think that unfortunately Rudy Gay is the one person that they may need to move on from and let Caspi start, because I think if you start Caspi, that offense becomes a little bit more explosive, and he's pretty decent on the defensive side of the ball too. So that's been it for my weekend basketball. Be sure to check in with me next Friday on December 2nd. As I'll be discussing what happens in the coming weeks. Warriors ended up thrashing the Lakers last night or not last night, but the night before Thanksgiving, 149 to 104 in Oracle. So, and we'll see tonight if the Lakers can exact revenge and get another big victory over the Dubs in LA, but I doubt it. So y'all have a great day. This has been Double K. Till next week. Peace.